Feathered Serpent.
Captain's log, stardate 5097.3. Starfleet reports major military activity in the Klingon sector near Krakur, a planet on the edge of Klingon space. Intelligence indicates that the Klingons are mobilizing a large fleet to search for a renegade who is responsible for a disruption of unknown nature on that planet. Federation sensors have found a faint energy trail leading to the planet Zam-4 in the Digifal system. We've been ordered by Starfleet to track down the source of the energy and discovered what happened on Krakur before the Klingon fleet enters Federation space. If we are not successful, the Federation and the Klingon Empire may find themselves at war once again.
Oh, this is slightly different. We didn't get an introduction from Starfleet. Again, let's find out some more information before we head off. Krakur.
Krakur 4. A world in Klingon space, which has belonged to the Empire for at least 4 generations, governed by the Kenka family. The population of Krakur is not known. Klingons. A humanoid life form that has used genetic manipulation to stratify their population. Their homeworld is Kling. Klingon's culture is based on the principle of survival of the fittest, either through guile or physical force. Principles of honor are used to prevent the culture from killing itself completely, but these principles are extended outside their species only to non-Klingons who have proved themselves in battle. Negotiations over planets in the disputed area have been slowly advancing, hindered by recent Klingon technological exchanges with the Romulans. The Klingon Empire itself is economically backward and poorly organized, but their military force is extremely formidable.
I thought their homeworld was Kronos. It may have changed. I'm confused now.
Zam-4, the 3rd planet in the Digifal system, a Class M world. See Digifal. Digifal, a system near the Klingon neutral zone. Digifal contains 2 habitable planets, Digifal 3 and Digifal 4. Digifal 3, also known as Zem-4, contains ruins of a civilization that abandoned the planet approximately 20,000 years ago and has been declared a protected world for archaeological reasons. Kenka Vlicht, a member of the Kenka family, an old Klingonese family of noble origins, the governing family of Krakur. Vlicht is the first Kenka to reach flag rank, and as such, has been posted back away from the frontier. Vlicht has 2 sons in the service, but nothing is known of his wife or other children. He is believed to be the current commander of the Klurta and one of the most respected commanders in the Klingon fleet. He is said to be an avid fencer.
I think that's enough for now.
Nothing to report, Captain.
Orders are to proceed to the Digifal system.
The Digifal system, I believe, is here.
Captain, a Klingon battle cruiser has entered the system.
Open hailing frequencies. This is Captain James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Klingon battlecruiser, you are in Federation space. You must leave immediately.
I am Commander Taras of the Nizra. We are in pursuit of a genocidal criminal. We are performing an act of mercy in removing him from your space. Naturally, you will remove your vessel from this system, for your own safety, of course.
I think we can take care of ourselves, Taraz, which is more than I can say for you, if the Nizra does not leave Federation space at once. You are in direct violation of the Organian Treaty, mister. If you have a problem, have your fleet commander take it up with them. If a Federation criminal were to pass into Klingon space, you'd be saying the same thing to me. Who do you think you're trying to fool, Taraz? Get your ship out of here now. I think you are in direct...
If we are not allowed to capture this criminal, Captain, you may do this for us. We insist that we remain here to monitor the situation, but we will take no action, provided that you can bring him to us in 12 hours.
Agreed. Vessels of war are not allowed in Federation space. You will pull back to the Organian neutral zone, and do so immediately. Agreed.
Yeah, they've decided not to engage us in a battle. I think we should just agree. That's the first. No battle to start with.
Nothing to report, Captain.
Orders are to proceed to the Digifal system.
That's where we are. I guess we need to orbit the planet.
Entering standard orbit.
I have pinpointed the source of the energy trail from Hakur.
Hailing frequencies open.
Okay. Let's head down to the planet.
Assemble a landing party. Unless we find this so-called criminal, we're going to war.
Hello? Is this Elvis?
Spock is analyzing the surroundings. Lieutenant Strachey is carefully eyeing the humanoid. McCoy is fidgeting around. You are James Tiberius Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise. There is a tall, slender, dark-haired man looking intently at you. Luminescent insects swarm near a large tree. It looks like the jungle has grown up into a small hut. The moon of Digifal. Legend says that the gods of good and evil fortune live there and will glance back at those who look at them, and either a miracle or a catastrophe will soon befall those who gaze upon it.
Greetings, my children. I can barely imagine that you have come so far.
I am Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Did you know the Klingons are looking for you? I'm Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. What did you do to get the Klingons so upset? We're not your children, and we don't appreciate this wild goose chase you forced us into. I'm Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship...
Quaint expression. I have done nothing to anger them. I did with them what I have done with everyone.
And exactly what would you have done with them? Entering Klingon space for anything puts the peace in peril. Whatever you did has them very upset. They're raiding worlds looking for you. And exactly what would you have done with them? Entering Klingon space for anything puts the peace in peril.
Is it Quetzalcoatl? Wasn't he an Incan or a Mayan god? What's he doing here?
Jeopardize the peace? Hardly. Peace is what I preach. I am Quetzalcoatl, as you well know from the proud history of your world.
Quetzalcoatl? How fitting you would name yourself after one of the most bloody-handed gods in Earth's history.
Bloody-handed? My people love peace.
Your followers regularly sacrificed other believers to you after you left, offering you their still-beating hearts. Ha! You mean your followers loved pieces? They slaughtered other believers hoping you'd return. Your followers regularly sacrificed other believers to you after you left, offering you their still-beating hearts.
Yeah, it's quite odd that an Earth god is entering Klingon space.
Impossible. You must be lying.
And then your followers were destroyed, because when white men arrived on that continent, they were believed to be you in your promised return. Your people perverted your teachings, then were destroyed by it.
Foul, lying creatures! My gift was wasted upon you! Be gone! Clearly are not the inheritors of the noble Aztec world. What you have said has greatly disturbed me. You should not lie so. You shall remain here until you have learned the error of angering Quetzalcoatl.
Well, I made the mistake of speaking to him first instead of the crew, but we are here now.
McCoy is examining the floor of the pit. Spock is carefully examining the pit. James T. Kirk does not seem very happy with his current predicament. Lieutenant Strachey is carefully examining the pit. You are in a deep pit. It is a long, hard climb to the top. This particular snake doesn't seem to like your company and moves whenever you get near it. There is a light suspended from above by a chain. There is a tiny hole in the wall at this point. Certainly no human could crawl through here. There are several loose vines hanging over the side of the pit out of reach. This is one of them. There is a vine hanging down into the pit. Spock is carefully examining the pit.
Okay.
Do I look like a Houdini to you? I'm afraid you're going to have to pull the rabbit out of the hat on this one.
Those vines would be useful to escape, if we could reach them.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
No enemies in sight, but supplies could be a problem if we don't get out.
You get no response.
I don't know what I was expecting there.
You fail to obtain anything. You fail to obtain...
Okay.
You pick up some rocks from the pile.
Ah, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
There are rocks here quite suitable for picking up and throwing. You fail to obtain anything. You already have rocks.
Oh, that's handy.
Fascinating. It did appear to knock the vine down near to the point where one of us can reach it.
Didn't they have baseball on Vulcan? Show us your fastball, Jim.
Baseball? No one plays that anymore. Good try, though, sir.
Tell that to Cisco.
Hey, what was that for?
The probability of getting the vine on the second try was only 36.53%. Well done, Captain.
Probability? That was a perfect pitch if I ever saw one.
All right, we're on our way.
Thank you, Captain, but I assure you that I was giving this situation my fullest attention.
Nothing happens.
I'm glad I was taught pain nullification techniques.
Wow. I didn't even know that was a thing. So, who do we send up first? I believe it's probably Kirk. I'm not too sure if there is a specific order you need to send these people up. I'll experiment in another video though. I kind of guess we're doing this by rank.
This great tree has been in this jungle for centuries. Trees to the left of you, trees to the right of you. Into the valley of trees raced the landing party.
I thought she was going to sing a song then.
Kirk is wondering what he said that made Quetzalcoatl so angry. Spock is examining the surrounding terrain for signs of danger. Anything else would be illogical. Lieutenant Strachey appears fascinated by the vines hanging from the trees. McCoy is filled with premonitions of injury and death. Why else would they have brought him along?
Staying in this overgrown region could prove quite dangerous. I suggest we continue, Captain.
I feel like someone is watching us, Captain.
This jungle is sure lush, Jim. Speaking of lush, I could use a nice Saurian brandy about now.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
I am Tolokzak, priest of Quetzalcoatl. Only one who knows his ways may approach his holy ground.
Your security officer looks at you for orders and perhaps inspiration. Spock looks small compared to the great warrior. McCoy seems rather nervous. You are James Tiberius Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise.
I think we've established that by now.
Towering over your security officer, holding a great spear in his huge hand, the great warrior Tolokzak will let no one pass him. Primitive lights illuminate this savage scene. Towering over your security...
Perhaps our host will be more reasonable now. I recommend trying to locate him, Captain.
Did you ever get the feeling that people don't like you?
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Nice planet. I kind of like it.
I will not listen to your deceitful ways.
Okay. There's only one thing we can do to get past him.
Indeed, you know the ways of Quetzalcoatl, but only a man of courage, one who will shed blood, will pass. Self-sacrifice is the noblest quality of humanity. You may go. Beware the monster in the water. You may have my knife to defend yourself.
You see a jewel-encrusted, gold-colored knife. You fail to obtain... You pick up the beautifully crafted knife.
Thank you. I guess he didn't have to give us anything. How do we get past him? Aha.
Familiar glowing spheres light the path. Below this rock is a large growth of mushrooms. James T. Kirk realizes that every step increases their danger. A large fern fans the pathway. McCoy doesn't want to be bothered right now. Mr. Spock analyzes the surroundings. Lieutenant Strachey smiles as he strolls down the path.
Well, at least one of these people are happy.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
James T. Kirk definitely is not happy.
It's getting a little cool out here. Keep warm. I don't want a bunch of sick crewmen when we get back to the ship. If we ever do get back to the ship.
Fascinating. The trees are able to grow very close together in this forest, Captain.
Does every planet-side mission have this much adventure, Captain? Mind you, I can't say Mr. Quetzalcoatl is making a very good impression on me.
A pair of eyes are all that you can see of the rest of this creature. Most of it is hidden beneath the murky water. There is a slow, muddy river blocking your path. A strong, thick log serves as a footbridge. The river is unmoving, and the heat and stillness are oppressive. The log looks quite old, but sturdy. The river water is too muddy to get an idea of its depth, or what may be beneath its surface. The river water is too much. This plant has a rather thick stem and prickly leaves. Lieutenant Strachey is looking at the big creature in the water. Captain Kirk is looking at the big creature in the water. Dr. McCoy is looking at the big creature in the water. Mr. Spock is looking ahead to a cave opening on the other side of the log.
Reminds me of a planet I was stationed on once. The native girls were real friendly. Ensign Shu had his bachelor party there. Great time. You ever been to Omicron Draconis, Captain?
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Anyone for a campfire?
I recommend caution here, Captain.
Yeah, I don't think this creature is very friendly.
The tricorder registers a life form, a large marine creature lurking just below the surface of the water. It appears that the leaves are slightly toxic. I would not recommend touching it for an extended amount of time, Captain.
Jim, there's some kind of an aquatic creature down there.
The tricorder registers a life form, a large marine creature lurking just below the surface of the water.
Jim, there's some kind of an aquatic creature down there.
Okay. There's a couple of ways we can actually get across this. I'm going to do it the nice way.
It would appear that the plant secretes a chemical that is a natural repellent to the creature. It has retreated far downstream, Captain.
There we go. There is another way of getting across, and that is by basically you can use someone as bait. Come on. There we go.
They appear to be ordinary rocks. Spock's tricorder might say otherwise. It is a large cluster of crystals. Stalagmites rise from the floor of the cave. Stalactites descend from the ceiling.
I should warn you, the stalactites could collapse quite easily. Any sudden motion could cause large quantities of stalactites to fall on us.
Well, isn't this just great?
Doctor, I would point out that your voice could also trigger such a collapse.
Will you two stop arguing just once? Then, gentlemen, I would advise you to stop arguing. You know, some shore leave sounds pretty good right now.
Oh, here we go. I can't remember who said this in the thread, but they mentioned that there was some dialogue that Kirk said that was different to the actual wording.
Will you two... Then, gentlemen, I would advise you to stop arguing.
It would seem to be a prudent course of action, Captain, if Dr. McCoy would agree.
Spock is his usual stoic self. James Kirk remembers the last time he was in a cave and is glad that this one seems more peaceful. Lieutenant Strachey looks nervously at the stalactites hovering precariously above you.
I remember the first time I completed this game, I had a walkthrough, and the walkthrough mentioned that to get across the actual log, you should send Lieutenant Strachey over first. We'll see this in another video, of course.
I've lost any appetite I may have had for squid, Jim.
I would suggest we continue on, Captain. It would not be logical to endanger ourselves by remaining here.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Reminds me of some spelunking I did on Hades 4. Ever do any climbing, Captain?
Have you ever made it up the face of Half Dome, Lieutenant?
If we ever get back to Earth, 100 credits says I'll beat you.
Captains and security officers, they don't realize how fragile the human body can be.
Sure we do. That's the challenge.
Fascinating. These rocks are limestone, but contain an unusually high content of heavy metals. There are dilithium crystals here, but in a very raw form. This appears to be a formation of raw dilithium crystals, Captain. These stalagmites were made from limestone deposits. They took millennia to form. These stalactites were made from limestone deposits. They took millennia to form.
Thank you, Spock.
You will need something to pry it loose. You have one dilithium crystal in raw form.